Okay. Today's topic is programmable logic device, PLDs, programmable logic device. So why it is called programmable logic device? A programmable logic device is an electronic component used to build reconfigurable digital circuits. Unlike a logic gates, which has a fixed function, a PLD has an undefined function at the time of manufacture. That means when you go to the market and buy one AND gate or NAND gate, you know what gate you are buying, right? And you know what this IC will do. AND gate will give you an output if two inputs are one, right? If two inputs, one of the inputs is zero, then the output will be zero. You know it. Before buying it or after buying it, you already know it, what your IC is going to do, right? And if you want to do OR operation using AND gate, you cannot do it, right? If you want to do OR operation using AND gate, you cannot do it because you bought the wrong gate, right? So using one IC doing another operation is tough, is impossible using normal gates or fixed function gates. But here comes the PLD. PLD is an IC that do not have any fixed function inside it. So your job will be putting a function inside it. That means you will tell your PLD what type of job it will be doing. Okay? That means after buying an IC, you can program it, then you can use it, just like microcontroller. Because before buying the microcontroller, you do not know, or the manufacturer do not know, doesn't know what type of work you are going to do, right? What code you will do, what type of code you are going to write inside the microcontroller. You do not know, people do not know, whoever manufacturing it, they do not know, even you do not know. After you buying it, you bring that home, you put it inside a burner, then you do some programming and you upload the code and you use it. This is the exact same thing that will happen with PLD, but there is a small difference between microcontroller and PLD. Microcontroller works on software, PLD works on hardware connection. That means the connection you are going to make, you can program it or you can reprogram it. That means you can make physical connection inside it, not a software. Microcontroller works with the software, and this sort of PLDs, they works on hardware connections. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's explain. Let's say this is a microcontroller. Okay, here you have two inputs. One is this one, another one is this one. Okay, two switches. Okay, two switches, and you have one lock. What is lock? Let's say door. Okay, a door. So the statement is, if these locks, these switches are pressed together. Pressed together, I said, pressed together. If they are pressed together, that means if this is pressed and this is pressed, this lock will be open, right? That means this motor or the whatever, this will be one. That means if this switch is pressed, that means if this is one, if this is one, this will become one, right? If you want to do it using microcontroller, what program you have to write? You have to write a program that will check the status of the switches. That will check the status of the switches. Status check. Then it will give a it will apply a logic. If switch number 1 equal to high, and right, switch number 2 equal to high, that means if both of them are high, then digital write pin number, let's say this is pin number 10. Pin number 10 will be high, right? Remember, this is the Arduino code I am writing. Understood? This program will check the status of the input switches. So it needs some time. So it will check the status. If the status is satisfying this logic, then it will apply a 5 volt. Then it will send a 5 volt to our output port. If these status are not, if these status are not satisfied, then it will send a 0. That means there is a function that there is a place where the software is loaded. Software. This software will check the inputs. That means these inputs will go to the software. Then the software will decide whether it will send a 5 volt or a 0 volt. Understood? So this is how your microcontroller works. It needs some time because it will analyze the inputs. Then it will decide what output I am going to give. Then it will give a output. Exactly like that. Now, this is a pretty simple program I have shown you. But in case of PLD, this will not happen. What will happen? In case of PLD, this will happen. Inside the PLD, there are lots of gates, but none of them are connected together. So there is a AND gate, there are NAND gates, NOR gate, a lot of gates are there. Normally NAND, NOR and NOT are there. NAND, NOR or NOT, universal gates are there. So what are you going to do? You're going to connect like this. Okay, you have 2 inputs and you have 1 output. So what you are going to do, you are going to map. Map means reconfigure the connections. Okay, you connect this point with 1 input of the gate. You connect this point with another input of the gate, and you connect this point with the output of the gate. Okay, so you just make the connection. So normally, previously, these connections were not there. When you buy the IC, these connections are not there. Now you make the connection. Now this whole IC will work like an AND gate. The whole IC will work like an AND gate. But when you buy the IC, that time you didn't know what type of work you are going to do with this. You do not know whether it will work like an AND gate, or it will work like an AND gate, or it will work like something else. Okay. Remember, the PLD can do many more complicated jobs as well. Here I am showing you only 1 gate operation. You can have multiple gate operation inside it. So here, if the switch is pressed, this will be on. Pretty simple. No software needed. Direct physical connection. Okay. So no delay. So we're going to share the previous screen again. Okay, now. So PLD is a general term that refers to any type of integrated circuit used for implementing digital hardware, where the chip can be configured by the end user. End user means us. That means the consumer. We can buy the ICs and we can program it. End user to realize different designs. Before the PLD can be used in a circuit, it must be programmed, obviously. So before using it, you have to program it. That means you have to reconfigure it. Another name of programmable logic device is field programmable logic device, FPLD. Field programmable logic device. PLD, programmable logic device, or field programmable logic device. Why? Because you can buy this and you can program it in your work field. Okay, that's why it is called field programmable logic device. This is the history. In 1969, Motorola, the mobile company that we are using mobile, right? Motorola offered XC1. Okay, wait a second. I need 2 minutes break.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So here we can see programmable logic device arrays that was created or invented about 1970 by Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments, you already heard of this Texas Instruments in our first class. TI, they are one of the most, what should I say? I should say they are one of the leading company in IC business. In 1973, the National Semiconductor, and this is also a very good company, National Semiconductor, introduced a mask programmable PLA device with 14 pins, 14 inputs and 8 outputs with no memory register. Programmable logic device, the actual programmable logic device was created in 1980. Field Programmable Gate Array, FPGA, very important. Field Programmable Gate Array was created in 1985 by Xilinx, one of the most, what should I say? I should say leading company in FPGA production, Xilinx. They are even better than Intel. You already know about Intel, right? But you do not know about Xilinx. Xilinx are better, much better than Intel. But they do not make consumer level CPU. They do not make consumer CPU. They actually make more sophisticated devices like FPGA, PLD, those sort of things. Xilinx. Then we have one cheaper option called Altera. Altera. I had one FPGA from Altera brand, and I have some PLDs from Altera as well. Okay, they are the biggest companies of PLDs. Intel as well. PLD, the purpose of PLD, what are the purposes? So these are the things, these are the theory questions that I can ask you in Vivas or in, what should I say, in theory classes. Number one, it permits elaborate digital logic designs to be implemented by the user on a single device. That means if you have a very big circuit with let's say 100 gates. Now, implementing 100 gates inside or on a breadboard is very, very tough, right? You already know it because you have done digital electronics. In your digital electronics lab, you have seen that. Okay, who is talking? Okay, you have seen that if you implement more than 4 or 5 ICs on breadboards, and the number of wires become so many, so sometimes you keep losing your track, right? Sometimes you feel hazy because the connections are a bit complicated. So then think about 100 gates or 1000 gates. Can you make a circuit with 1000 gates, 1000 ICs? Can you make a circuit with 1000 gates? Can you make it? Is it possible?
No, sir.
I believe it is not possible because you will make a lot of mistakes. So in those cases, you can use only one PLD and you can do the work. One PLD means one IC. You can put all those 1000 gates inside one PLD and you can do the work. That's why PLDs are so important. So you can actually make your circuit a lot simpler, a lot smaller, and with a smaller price. Is capable of being erased or reprogrammed with a new design. That means you have used one PLD for a special purpose. When the purpose is gone, you can take it out and you can reprogram the IC, just like microcontroller. You can reprogram. Number 3, can replace the complicated digital circuits with ease. Let's say you have one complicated digital circuit somewhere. You want to replace it, or you want to improve it, or you want to repair it. What you can do, you can replace the whole circuit and you can replace it with one single PLD. Can be used for analyzing performance of digital circuit. What is this? You are trying to do one design inside a computer. Okay, you made a design, you simulate these, the results are fine. Now you want to check it, you want to test it using real hardware. So using real hardware means you have to implement a lot of gates, but instead of using a lot of gates, you can use one PLD and you can check it whether it is working or not. That is the purpose of PLDs. Now, advantages. So before going into the advantages, let's see the problems of normal ICs, that means standard ICs. What are the problems of standard ICs in logic design? Number 1, require hundreds of thousands of these ICs. hundreds or thousands of these ICs. Okay, that means if your design is complicated, you need more ICs. Require a considerable amount of circuit board space. Obviously, if you use 1000 ICs, you need a very big breadboard. Require a great deal of time and cost in inserting, soldering, testing. That means if if you decide to go with normal IC, you have to spend a lot of time and money for buying those ICs, for testing those ICs, for inserting those ICs in the breadboard, for soldering those ICs in your circuit board, and you have to test it. After you insert one IC, test it. One IC, test it. One IC, test it. Otherwise, if you make a mistake, you will not be able to find it, where the mistake is there, where the mistake is located. Okay, that's why you have to put it, you have to put one IC, then you have to test it. So it needs a lot of time. Requires to keep a significant inventory of IC. That means you need to keep a shop inside your home, or you need to keep a lab inside your home, or you need to keep a lot of ICs. Okay, you need to keep 1000 NAND gate, 1000 NOR gate, 1000 AND gate, 1000 NOT gate, something like that. Why? Because you do not know which one you need more, right? So you're going to go to the market. Okay, give me 1000 NAND, 1000 NOR, 1000 NOT, something like that. So this is called supply. You need to have some supplies at your home, because if you need one IC and if you cannot find it, that will be a problem. So you need to keep supplies of ICs at your home. Okay, for all 7 ICs, you need to keep the supply. That means for NAND, NOR, NOT, and or XOR, XNOR, you need to keep these 7 types of ICs at your home, and enough number of them, because there are 7. That's why. But if you use PLD, you do not need hundreds of ICs. You only need 1 or 2. You do not need enough circuit board space, because you are actually using 1 IC or 2 ICs. You do not need enough time for inserting, soldering, and testing. You only need time to program it, right? Programming. So that will be easier over the time. You do not need enough inventory supply. Why? You only need, let's say, 10 or 20 or 50 or even 1000. 1000, one type of ICs, not 7 type of ICs. One type of ICs is enough, because you can do all the works in one type of IC. If you want to use it as an OR gate, you can use it as an OR gate. If you want to use it as a NAND gate, you can use it like an AND gate. You just have to program it. So let's see the advantages. Number 1, less board space. That means fewer printed circuit board. That means smaller. That means your enclosure. That means the box you are putting your project in. That means the project box will be smaller. Since you have very limited amount of ICs, because previously you have used thousands of ICs. That time you have to use a bigger power supply, because you have to supply the power to 1000 ICs. Now you are using only 1 or 2 ICs. That means you have to give small power. That means a smaller power requirement, smaller power supply. Faster and less costly assembly process, obviously, because you have only 1 or 2 ICs. Higher reliability. Why? Because you are dealing with fewer ICs, and circuit connections will be very easier. That's why if you have any problem, you can troubleshoot. Troubleshoot means you can check for the error. What is the error? You have only 1 IC or 2 IC and the connections are very less. So you can actually do troubleshooting easier. Availability of design software. The software you are using for programming it, those are actually easy, very easy to find. Okay, online. Now, this is one thing I am going to discuss after I teach you the ASIC. Okay, remind me. Okay, these are the PLD advantages. Remind me, because we do not know what is ASIC yet, not yet. when we are going to do the study about ASIC, then we will come back here. Remind me, there was a graph. Okay, the PLD types. What are the classes of PLDs? There are many types of classification available online, offline, in the book, but I found this classification is the most suitable one. PLD can be divided into two types. One is okay, let's use a different color. One is SPLD, that means simple programmable logic device. HCPLD, high capacity programmable logic device. Simple programmable logic device, or SPLD, can be divided into four types. Number one is memory array, PLA, programmable logic array, PAL, programmable array logic, GAL, generic array logic. These are the four types of SPLD. Now, HCPLD can be divided into two types. One is CPLD, complex programmable logic device. FPGA, field programmable gate array. You understood what I have said?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Memory array can be divided into two types again. ROM, read-only memory. RAM, random access memory. Now you already know it. Now, what are the differences between PLA, PAL, SPLD, CPLD, and FPGA? We will do the detailed differentiation later. No problem. Structure of PLDs. What are the structure of PLDs? PLDs means PLA or PAL, not memory or not your GAL or GLA. No, not like that. So the most important parts are these two here, PLA and PAL. We will be dealing with these two. We will see what are the differences between them, what are the configuration differences between them, how to program those, not program, how they work actually. Okay, how their programming works. We will discuss about that. Structure of PLDs, PLA or PAL. A PLD consists of an array of AND gates and an array of OR gates. That means you have two arrays. One is the array of AND gate, another one is array of OR gates. That means you have two planes. One, they have AND gates in one side, in another side they have OR gates. Okay, so two planes are there. So each input fits both a non-inverting buffer and an inverting buffer. That means non-inverting buffer means normal. Inverting buffer means NOT gate. That means they will be fed using a NOT gate. So to produce the true or inverted forms of each variable. That means if you give A as input, it will go as A, and it will go as A bar. That means both of the inputs are available. They are the inputs of AND gates. Okay, the AND consists of the AND outputs are called product line. Each product line is connected to one of the input of each OR gate. This product line will go to the OR gate. Okay, I will show you, no problem. Two fundamental types of PLDs are PLA and PAL. Obviously, you know it. Now, let's talk about the PLA, Programmable Logic Array, internal structure. So here you can see you have two inputs. One is A, another one is B. A is going inside the IC. Okay, which one is the IC? Let's make one enclosure. See this pink color. Oh yes, you can see. Now here, these are the two pins, two inputs, and these are the four outputs. Inside, this is the pin. This is the IC. Inside, you have a lot of things. What are the things inside? You have a inverted, no, non-inverted buffer and inverted buffer. Inverted buffer means not get. So here you have A, this is A. Here you have A bar. Here you have B. Here you have B bar. Okay. Now this line will go directly across the IC, and here you have N plane, N gates, a lot of N gates. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you have 4. You can have more than 4 as well. So these N gates will have those inputs as their input, and these are called internal input lines. Internal input lines. These internal input lines will go to the N gate as input. The output of N gates will be called product line. This product line will go to the OR gate again. All of them. This one will go to the OR gate, OR gate, OR gate, OR gate. All of them will go to the OR gate. Same OR gate. All of them will go to the same OR gate. All of them will go to the same OR gate. All of them will go to the same OR gate. Here you can see there are some fuses. Fuses. Fuses means if you want them, they will remain there. If you do not want them, they will be gone. That's why they are called fuses. Normally they are all connected, but if you do not want them, if you do not need them, what will happen? You can delete them. You can, by using program, obviously, by using program, you can delete them. Now here, in this AND gate, the connections are made like A bar and B bar. You can alter the connection. You can change the connection as your wish. Here I have given A bar and B bar. In this case, I have given A bar B. In this case, I have given A B bar. In this case, I have given A B. Okay, let's do one example. Here you can see the input. Okay, one example. In this example, what they have said implement these using PLA. You have one output, that is A bar B bar, A plus AB, O2. That means you have second output, that is A bar B, A B bar. Third output is A bar B, A B bar plus AB. Now, how many expression you have? You have A bar B bar. This is one. You have AB. This is two. Another one. You have A bar B. This is another one. You have A B bar. This is another one. You have A bar B. Okay, it is already common. So you can see that. So we do not have to do it again. A B bar, it is already common. AB, this is already common. So we actually need only 4. We actually need only 4 AND gates. That is the number of AND gates. We need only 4 AND gates. Okay, done. So 4 AND gates. How many inputs do you need? You can see there are nothing except A and B, right? A, B, A, B, A, B, everything is A, B. So you need actually 2 AND gates, 2 inputs. And how many output you need? How many OR gate you need? You need 3 output. So you need to choose a PLA that has minimum 2 inputs, that has minimum 4 AND gates, that has minimum 3 outputs. If the number of AND gates are less than that, you cannot do this design using that PLD. So before buying the PLD, you have to check, okay, how many input they have? Okay, 2, enough. If they are 3, okay, no problem. If they are 4, no problem. That will do the work. If the input is 1, that will not work. So number of inputs are 2. Number of AND gates. If the number of AND gates are 16, it will work because you actually need only 4. If the number of AND gates are 3, it will not work. So these are the minimum specification you need to ensure. Okay, let's do an example. So let's go to the next page. What happened? Here we have chosen a PLA that has at least 2 inputs. So A and B, fine. At least 4 AND gate. So here you have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. If there was 5, 6, 7, 8, no problem. But if there was 3, if there were 3, it could have been a problem. But now we have 4. It's okay, fine. We need at least 3 outputs. So we have 4. It's fine. Okay. Now let's do the programming. So here we need A bar, B bar. So first one will be connected between from A bar and B bar. Okay. Next one we need A bar, B. Okay, fine. A bar and B. Next one we need A, B bar. Fine. Next we need A, B. Okay, the sequence is not a problem. You can do the sequence as your wish. No problem. Now here, the actual programming will be done here. So first one was O1. O1 was A bar, B bar plus AB, I believe. Okay, let's go back and see. First one was A bar, B bar and AB. So here you can see first one will be A bar, B bar. So first connection will remain. That's why the fuse remains. The next one is A bar, B. We do not need it. So that is gone. Next one is A, B bar. We do not need it. So it is gone. Next is AB. So we need it. We need it. So it will remain. So what are the connections remain? A bar, B bar and AB. So this is our O1. Next one, A bar, B bar, we do not need. That's why the connection is gone. A bar, B, we need it. A, B bar, we need it. AB, we do not need. That's why it is gone. This is O2. O3, A bar, B bar, we do not need. A bar, B, we need. A, B bar, we need. AB, we need. So it will remain. Last one, we do not need any one of them. That means because this is actually not needed. The O4 is not needed. So we actually blown all the fuses. That means it is inactive now. Got my point? It is inactive. So you actually can do the whole operation inside one IC. So this is the work of PLA. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's do one example. Let's do one example. Then we will finish today's work. So I'm going to write F1 Okay, you have to use 4 into 6 into 4 PLA. What do I mean by that? Here 4 is number of input is 4. 6 number of AND gate. 4 number of output. You have to use it. You cannot ignore any one of them. But you can actually keep one input or one output empty. You can keep empty, but you have to design it first. Got my point? So this will be your homework for today. Tomorrow you have to show me. If you fail to show me, your 2 marks will be gone. Remember, you have to try. So 4 into 6 into 4 PLA. This is the specification of your IC. You have to use these to design these. Understood, everyone?
Sir, and there is, sir, there is one more.
Okay, now 4 is your number of inputs, 6 is number of AND gates, 4 is number of outputs. That is OR gate actually. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So take a screenshot, all of you. You have taken a screenshot? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, you have taken the screenshot. Okay. Thank you.